Audit Podcast, WATP.
Hopefully by now you've heard or seen our episode from Las Vegas. We had an Opie segment. We started off with Opie pranking some Asian people in Central Park who were taking photos. And, why don't I start with that? Let's play this brilliant prank that Opie had.
Cheese! 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 Enjoy your day, all right? Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jesus.
So Opie's all proud of himself. He saw tourists taking photos and yelled cheese at them. So you got to love this super chat that came in on his recent live stream.
That cheese gag made me chuckle. Way to stick it to them. Jesus, goody two shoes. Yeah, if you haven't checked out my live streams for the streets of New York in a while, please do.
So it says, way to stick it to them Asians. This goody two shoes free chat that he put up. And Opie's all proud of himself. He's like, yeah, I really did stick it to them. Opie, why would you think that was a good bit? Like, the guy's making fun of you. You don't know that? You thought that yelling cheese at tourists was funny?
You think those Asians had it coming?
They had it coming, yeah. Fuck those idiots. That's what they get.
Why don't you lay off the Asians?
All right. Don't tell me what to do, Wiggum. All right. So this goes on. Opie's talking about these live streams. He's like promoting it hard. He's like, guys, if you're not watching these live streams, they're getting really good.
You're missing out.
Yeah, where he's walking and talking around New York.
You know, I finally said after all these years, hey, the quality of my video stinks. So I'm taking a second camera. So I look like a dork when I'm walking around because I got my cell phone for the live stream. Then I got a separate camera. I'm holding both of them at the same time. And then after the live stream's over, I come home, I download the really, really good video, and then I replace the kind of just okay video from the actual live stream.
This is crazy. This is psychotic. I had no idea this was going on. Opie is shooting everything, like Tommy Wiseau in The Room did this also. He's shooting everything with two different cameras. Same perspective, same video, two different cameras. So that he can do the live stream and then go home and replace that live stream with a slightly higher quality video for people who didn't watch it live and are going to watch it later. He thinks these live streams are so important that he's going to make sure to redo them after the fact to get them as pristine as possible.
He doesn't have anything to do all day.
He's got nothing going on. Could you imagine? This is what he's spending his time with. And he's like, I look like a dork. Even without the extra camera, Opie, it's not a great look what you're doing. There's a reason why the camera never turns back.
If I ran into anybody I knew while I was attacking Asians, screaming cheese, and like you run into an ex, and then you try and explain to them how well you're doing, that would be a hard sell.
Oh, Adam, I thought that was you. What are you doing?
Killing it, winning.
Well, this doesn't end here. Now he's going to explain this bit that he did.
And I'm getting some good videos out of it. And one was the cheese gag. Bunch of Asians taking a picture of the skyline of Manhattan. They're on a bridge. There's a lagoon, and in the background, there's a whole bunch of buildings. And I just went up to them and went cheese, cheese, cheese to all the Asians. And it turned out okay, I thought.
Fascinating. Not only did he not realize that Goody Two Shoes is clowning him, but he goes on to explain the bit.
The process.
Yes. A little behind the scenes of the thought process and how that all worked and then why it was so good, why it worked. This is next level.
This is insane.
For the Opster, this is next level. Like, he's out of it. And I couldn't believe when I went to his YouTube page, the Opie Unleashed NYC, because I pulled that from his live stream. We showed that Hackamania in Las Vegas. It's because I was watching his live stream and pulling clips. I had no idea he was pulling the same clips that I was. Look at this. Say Cheese has 66 views from 6 days ago, 18 seconds long. This is on his channel. He uploaded that video and made it higher quality too. He put the time into a video that's got 66 views. But wait, there's more. 30 seconds almost had it. Rare empty Central Bridge moment interrupted.
Oh, God.
Tourists won't move. My epic fail for perfect road bridge shot. These are all clips that I pulled to make fun of Opie. He's putting them on his channel on purpose.
Yeah.
You guys are both in stunned disbelief, I see.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe when I
wouldn't
saw it. Because the fact that he was referencing this cheese thing, I'm like, wait a second. He didn't put that out as a single video, did he? So I had to go look.
It's offensive to Asians and cheese. No.
and to bridges and to like
Bows.
if somebody invited you to see their vacation videos, you'd be like, we can't watch this. Like, what are you doing? Why are we watching this?
So
What's the joke? Who is it on? What's the joke?
Actually,
he doesn't know.
Adam's response to watching the Bow Bridge live was fantastic. You were outraged that he would ruin someone else's day, thinking that they were ruining his.
Yeah, he pushed somebody out of the way and went, let me get this shot. Or he was so upset somebody was getting the shot before him.
He was harassing them, just yelling at them, pacing back and forth on this bridge. Person's facing the other way, and Opie's just harassing them each way, back and forth.
The person's taking a video just like he's doing.
Yeah. Well, not like he's doing. Like,
Well,
probably
right.
like one that someone might enjoy one
in
day.
peace.
Yes.
When a 15-year-old kid trying to shoot an Instagram thing does that, you correct them. Whether they're your kid or not, you're like, buddy, get the fuck out of the way there first.
Right.
What is he doing?
Raising terrible children. Would
And
be
I
not
promise
setting
you
a good example.
Yeah. And I said it before, I'm almost positive all of those Asians speak perfect English and they were just dumbing it down for him.
Yeah.
That's what they do when you're approached by a wild, blonde, white behemoth, coming at you with a camera. You just pretend you don't know what's happening
They
and
actually
wait for
looked
them
like
to go away.
They actually thought it looked like they thought he was the slow, and they're like, "Yeah, cheese, man, right? Cheese,
Exactly. Just say what he wants till he goes away.
Give him some cheese.
Give him some cheese. He wants cheese. Yeah. He looks hungry.
All right, so the question comes up because Opie announced he's got this new podcast deal. But, the paperwork hasn't been signed yet. We're still working on the terms, he said. He wanted to make sure it wasn't an exclusive deal. He wants to make sure he can put his podcast everywhere still. So is there an update on that?
What happened to the podcast deal? It's almost signed, sealed, delivered, but people are making a big deal about it. I didn't say it was a big deal. I'm just moving my podcast from one place to the other, with a good chance of getting more marketing and a good chance of getting more people listening to my rubbish. So I will be talking about that. So it's like I said, it's not a huge deal.
Who's making a big deal about it? I mean, I am because we're making fun of you, but
the trolls.
he's like, guys, are you making too much of a deal about this? Like, no, you brought it up, and then Vincent Scaramuzzo just wants to know if there's an update on it.
Yeah, you took the time to plug it.
Right, you were pretty excited about it, if I remember. Talked about it multiple times. He's so defensive.
Every question.
Guys, don't make a big deal about this. We know it's not a big deal. There's no way you would get signed to a big podcast deal. We know that. You're not Call Her Daddy. You're not Smartless. No one thinks you're going to have this huge podcast deal we're going to read about in the trades.
It's so funny when somebody asks him a real question like, hey, what's up with that new house you were buying? He's like, go fuck yourself. How dare you come at me like that? And when someone is clearly mocking him like, great job with those Asians, he's like, thank you, buddy.
This is how
I appreciate it.
You're right.
Good looking out.
You're right. He's worse than stupid. So he gets this question about this podcast deal and immediately has to turn it on Anthony.
Like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's not like doing weekends on an AM station in New York City. I mean, that's a big deal. By the way, you would think, with Anthony going back to radio after all these years, there would be a little buzz. There's no buzz. I live in New York City. There's no buzz on Anthony doing weekends on ABC.
Wow.
That could very well be true, but how the fuck would he know? He talks to 5 guys in a basement of a bar down the street from him, and that's about it. Other than that, he just walks around harassing people.
You don't think Opie's up in the conservative radio chat forums?
Nope.
Just duking it out and trying to gauge the reaction?
I highly doubt it. I love this thing where he goes, guys, my podcast deal's not a big deal. It's not as big a deal as like this AM weekend station thing. Trying to like make fun of it, but it literally is not. Like whatever Opie's going to make from this, whatever he's signing, he won't make nearly as much money as Anthony's making. It won't make nearly as much news. Just the idea that Anthony's been canceled off of broadcast medium is back on AM radio is a huge deal. And then he immediately syndicated and added a third hour. You can't take this away from him. You can say whatever you want. He's having great guests on the show. A lot of the comedians used to be on Opie and Anthony are showing up on Anthony's show now. And for Opie's head to go there immediately.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's a buddy, the Vincent guy. I see him in there. Usually the Facebook squad. If you see someone on Facebook, that's a friendly viewer of the show.
For everything, every time that Opie brings up Anthony, there's got to be 10 times that he's not. He's just absolutely living rent-free in his head.
Yes. And this actually continues.
There's no buzz on Anthony doing weekends on ABC. But what about you? We're not talking about me right now. You understand? I hope you understand.
No. We were literally talking about you just now. You're the one who segued it off of you. Mm-hmm. And then he became that troll in his head, that hater in his head. What about you? What are you doing, Opie? That's so great. We're not talking about that. No, we are. We asked you about your podcast deal. What's going on with that?
That is a frightening reveal.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
He's backwards about everything. His catchphrase was, I don't want to talk about Anthony.
Yep.
So now we were talking about Opie, and he's like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Anthony.
We're talking about Anthony.
Okay. I guess we're always wrong.
It's even worse than that. Later on in the same stream.
Thoughts on recruiting pest for Zan? I have no thoughts. The only thoughts I have on Anthony is when you bring up the thoughts. That's the only time I have thoughts on Anthony is when you bring up stuff.
That's a bold-faced lie. You just brought it up out of nowhere earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? I mean, you guys both picked up on the fact that he never talks about Anthony. I don't even think about Anthony. And then someone goes, hey, makes a joke about Ant Hill or whatever. I don't think about Anthony until you guys bring it up.
Leave it alone.
It's like, holy shit, Opie. It's this. And we're watching The Spiral.
Yeah.
Which is depressing, but predictable. His mom suffered with mental health. He talked about it all the time. He is a mental patient at this point.
Is it just me, or is he getting lower and lower in the frame with each episode? Like, he has to notice that everyone who does a podcast presents themselves. It's all you have to offer. Mm-hmm. He knows he's the thing of least value in this shot right now, and he's in the dark.
I would tell you it's because he wants to showcase the scenery, but he does the same thing in the basement of Gebhardt's. There's nothing to see behind him there, unless you want to look at some jersey that's on the wall and a beer sign. But you're right. Like he that's how he feels about himself.
Not to break the illusion, but when you sent me a picture of the paneled wall background that I had requested, it had a tiny little ring light reflection in one of the pictures, and I asked you to retake it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me resend that.
Right.
And you did. This is his choice, is to be in the dark while there's a white ring behind him blocking this beautiful view.
And it's annoying as hell because I have to make the thumbnails for these, and I try to brighten them up, but it's impossible. There's nothing you can do. Like Photoshop can't do this. There's no light to be had.
There's something so messed up about hiding on camera, like choosing to be on camera and then hiding during it. It's very weird.
Let's talk about the purple mouth, because on Weird Medicine, this was a question that was asked of Dr. Steve on the final Weird Medicine of Hackamania, and Dr. Steve said, I know what the answer is. So basically, it's a lighting issue. The idea that the single ring light is coming in directly and he's got all of this backlit is what's causing that issue. And Dr. Steve actually showed a diagram because Dr. Steve had every job in the world. He used to do lighting for some TV show or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So he's like, it's all about 3-point lighting. And he goes, I sent him the lights that he needs. And I showed him, I showed the diagram of how you set it up so that you don't have these shadows and stuff. And he goes, and Opie set it up at Gebhardt's, but he won't do it in his own house. He refuses to set up the proper lighting so he doesn't look like what he looks like here.
There's no helping some people.
I know. Not since Stuttering John sent Kate Meany a ring light has someone been so generous with lighting suggestions. Now, I've been talking a lot about how Opie is making the turn to official lolcow status as if he hasn't already. But this is a big step right here. This one is where you could tell that, okay, we are officially on that path and there's no coming back from it.
So the question, oh my God, you guys are babbling, huh? The question is, do you still read super chats or are they all trolls now? Yeah, if someone's going to give me money to troll me, I don't feel like reading that. It's not worth it. You know, you can make some decent money if you read the super chats from trolls, but I don't feel like going down that road. So, but if you're cool and you give me a super chat, I'll give you a lot of attention on the big screen. Okay.
He is officially no longer reading super chats that make fun of him. He has announced it. You will be blocked and he will not read your super chat. It's not worth it to him. Please be nice. Guys, give me money and just be nice when you give me money. Please.
Maybe that's why he's pretending to not know what a diss is. So he can take the money for those mean ones and claim he just had no idea.
Yeah, I think you're honest.
And that would make sense, except for that Goody Two Shoes one about the Asians was not a super chat. It was a free chat that he put up on the screen.
And he didn't know that he was making fun of him.
He definitely did not. It's like the cheese gag was great. Way to stick it to those Asians. How do you not know it's a joke? But what's great about Opie is that you can see on the screen right now, he's got a free chat up from Quinn DQ. And this is talking about that new statue, the black woman that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
And it says, the statue can only be viewed for 4 hours a day. It won't work a full shift. And Opie loves to put stuff like that up on his screen.
That the statue can only be viewed for 4 hours a day. It won't work a full shift. I get it.
Whoa.
Wrong show. Wrong show.
So I'm not pearl clutching. I personally don't care about this. It's a joke and whatever. Don't give a shit. But for Opie to constantly be talking about how Anthony's a racist and what a piece of shit and everyone who likes Anthony has to be a racist, just wants to hear him yell the N-word. And then he puts shit like that up on the screen for no reason and reads it. It's like, well, obviously, you still want to be the shock jock guy who digs into this kind of stuff. Just fucking do it then.
Yeah. Grow a pair.
Grow a pair. Yeah. Stop being so offended by everything that your former partner does. Here's a question about going on the Howard Stern show. Opie has one of these little fantasy moments that a lot of these lolcows do.
Ross Dogg's Broken Spirit giving me $5. If Five Fooey reached out for a Stern interview, would you go on? Would you go along with his current softball style, or would there be fireworks? Oh, my God. First of all, it's one of these questions that is stupid. No offense, Ross Dogs, because I love you. You give me content. That's why I love you. Sometimes it's a little edgy. Sometimes but anyone that gives me content, I love. It's a stupid question because it's never going to happen. But
okay.
I would absolutely accept an interview to be on Howard Stern, and I would just go in. Why would I do softball crap? No, I would go all in.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Opie? So at least there was that quick realization that's not going to happen, obviously. Now, I don't know if it's because of their history in Opie's mind or because he doesn't have the celebrity status to go on the Howard Stern show. I don't know why he thinks.
Oh, no, he thinks it's because he humiliated Howard by showing that he has security and they locked down the building because of the numerous incredible, not just assassination attempts, but death threats that guy gets. Maybe it's a little paranoid, fine. But I promise you, Opie, that's not why you're not going to be on the Howard Stern show. But just in case there was ever just a little bit of interest the way there is in Anthony, you had to answer that question that way to just guarantee, solidify it's never going to happen.
Well, he goes on, he elaborates on what he would do on Howard's show.
And I would apologize for something. And then he would be like, you apologizing about this. It's bringing it up again. Oh, my God. What are you doing? But I would apologize for something, 100%. I've had a few apologies to people from my past. Yes, I have. I'm sorry that happened. happened. I'm sorry you felt that way. I had no idea. You know, it was a pressure cooker, the Opie and Anthony show, and I probably should have been more aware that what was going on was bothering you. So I hope you accept my apology.
Very weird shit going on right there. First off, so he would apologize to Howard. I have a theory on that, but you notice how as he's talking about apologies to people, I'm sorry you felt that way. I didn't realize you felt that way. I had an obligation to say crazy shit on my radio show. It wasn't my fault. Like even these fake apologies are not apologies.
It's not an apology.
It's not at all.
It's an observation.
Sorry you felt that way. It's not an apology.
And just in case you mistake it for being sincere, he's got to talk to you in that sing-song, condescending, childlike voice that just, it's so irritating.
He's such a... my theory on this is they used to go hard at Howard's daughter. I would guess now that he has kids, that's probably what he feels shitty about doing. And that's what he probably feels like he owes Howard an apology for. And he probably does.
John has this too, the arrogance. He believes like Howard's aware of this and like thinking about it.
Right.
That if Opie were to somehow come in, that would be on his mind and he'd be like wanting, he doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't know who you are. He has moved on. You should too.
But it might be the filming of the Sirius XM stuff. Who knows? It's possible. I have one more video clip of Opie because he put this one out. This is him on the streets of Manhattan. And the name of this video, again, I didn't make this. Opie made it. It's called The Pope is a White Sox Fan. Hilarious rant on baseball and religion.
Edgy stuff.
Get ready. This is going to be a hilarious rant on baseball and religion. Aaron Imholt, I hope you're taking notes here on how to be funny.
What do you think about the Pope being a White Sox fan, though? I don't think, like, the Pope should be a White Sox fan. I don't know. They found some old footage when the White Sox was in the World Series and the Pope.
What's interesting about this is I thought he was talking to the guy next to him.
I did too.
I thought for sure he was like interviewing someone.
Yeah.
He's just talking to himself.
Oh.
Right?
Staring at his phone on a busy corner of Manhattan. Someone pointed out when we were talking about how he was acting out in Central Park and how people were ignoring him because they're so used to homeless and schizophrenics. Someone's like, Carl, I'm from New York. And you're right. Like, we've been trained to ignore those people because every now and again they need attention and they'll do anything to get someone to make eye contact with them or just acknowledge that they're there.
That's the rule. You can't make eye contact.
Because every person just walks by and just stares ahead. And so every now and again they'll just act out. And that's what Opie does on a daily basis.
The Pope Leo was at one of the games. And then the stupid Cubs, they're like, no, he's actually a Cubs fan. And then the Pope's brother did all sorts of interviews and said, no, my brother's a White Sox fan and he's now the Pope. There's a lot of hocus pocus and magic with religion, but if the Pope is an old White Sox fan, right? And he's got the direct connection to God, our Lord and Savior. Shouldn't the White Sox win the World Series every single year until the Pope dies? Then I'd be a believer. Is that a lie?
All right, so that's going to wrap up the hilarious rant. Just want to let you guys know in case you were waiting for a tag or something like that.
Okay.
But get it? Because like the Pope is a fan of a team, so they should win because like God would want to do a favor for the God.
That guy dressed in the gorilla suit that works in Times Square made more money that day than Opie did.
Yep.
Oh, by far.
Mm-hmm. Is that alive? Yeah. Is that one alive? Oh, it is alive! Oh my God! All right, peace. Oh my God, it's alive! It's alive.
You're supposed to tip them now. Can't film them without paying them.
You good? I'm good. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, the guy even gave him the yeah. Give me a few bucks here, asshole. Opie shoving his phone into the guy's chest.
He likes anyone who gives him content. He just won't pay them.
Producer Chris, you're starting to get so annoyed with Opie. Like, I'm watching Chris no longer having fun with these segments.
That's my job.
Yeah, no, like, I can't have both of you staring at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Someone's got to have fun with it.
Well, It's a lot after Aaron. Aaron pisses me off.
Oh, I know. Sorry, guys. This has been a marathon today, but I had to get those Opster clips, and
I refuse to
glad
believe.
I did.
Refuse to believe that he has any relationship with his wife and his family right now, because there's just no way you can go do that all day and then come home and have the wife say, "What'd you do today?" And then him tell her that or show her that, and she's like, "Good job, honey."
Well,
We're
people
getting
lie
somewhere."
to their spouses all the time. I was
but he posts
sleeping
it
with
on-
hookers.
That
I was
would be
scoring
better.
hard drugs.
I was
would
at
be
the
more-
pornography store.
That's curable. This stuff, I
Tripping
don't
children on skateboards.